Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing super well like you always do. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome to Studentink. I am Lakshita and welcome back if you have been that good kid जो हर lecture attend कर रहा है. I am very proud of you. And I am sure कि अभी आपके एग्जाम्स में अच्छे मार्क्स आने वाले हैं because एग्जाम्स के लिए हम लोग इतने अच्छे से प्रिपेयर भी हो गए है ना. Hi Rishit. Hi Meena. Hi Gurunath. Good evening everyone. So today we have another amazing lecture on what is the title? Science Fundaz, right? So हम लोग एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक पे लेक्चर देने वाले हैं जिसका नाम है साइंस फंडास. एंड आज का लेक्चर हमारा एक न्यू फैकल्टी लेने वाली है. सो इट्स अ न्यू फैकल्टी जो आपसे इंट्रोड्यूस होने वाली है ना. सो आज हम उनके साथ हमारा ये सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग साइंस का लेक्चर अटेंड करने वाले हैं. बट बिफोर दैट यू नो द ड्रिल. अभी इतने सारे लेक्चर्स आपने अटेंड कर लिए हैं, यू ऑलरेडी नो द ड्रिल. लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब वाला. सो जल्दी से हम लोग लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करेंगे. और अगर आपने अभी तक राइट एज आई ऑलवेज से लेकिन कोई सुनता नहीं है, अगर आपने अभी तक अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ ये लिंक शेयर नहीं किया है तो जल्दी करिए. आप किसका वेट कर रहे हैं? देयर इज नथिंग आप जिस चीज के लिए आपको वेट करना है. आप जल्दी जल्दी से ये लिंक शेयर कर सकते हैं. जैसे ही आप लिंक शेयर करेंगे आपके फ्रेंड्स भी यहाँ पे कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे. तो उससे अच्छा चीज क्या होगा कि एक बार आपके फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे कनेक्ट हो गए तो एज आई ऑलवेज से वी आर हियर टू बिल्ड अ कम्युनिटी. हम लोग सब साथ में एक कम्युनिटी बना रहे हैं जहाँ पे हम पढ़ सकते हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, अच्छे से हमारे सारे कॉन्सेप्ट सारे डाउट्स क्लियर कर सकते हैं. राइट. सो उस कम्युनिटी को बिल्ड करने के लिए, उस कम्युनिटी को स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाने के लिए वी नीड्स टू मेक श्योर दैट हमारा ये जो हसल है टूवर्ड्स क्रिएटिंग अ बेटर लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट वो अकम्प्लिश हो सके. राइट. सो जल्दी जल्दी से अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ लिंक शेयर करिए. जब तक आप लोग लिंक शेयर करते हैं तब तक आई डू व्हाट आई ऑलवेज डू. राइट. सो आई क्विकली गिव यू एन आइडिया अबाउट द एप्लीकेशन ताकि आपको भी पता रहे कि आप कहाँ जाके ये एप्लीकेशन को डाउनलोड करके ये सारा जितने भी हम अमेजिंग से लेक्चर्स अटेंड कर रहे हैं और जितनी भी हम अमेजिंग व्हाट इज इट क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशंस और असाइनमेंट्स और ये सब देते हैं वो सब आप कहाँ से एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. ओके. So this is what the Octopod Studentink app looks like. जब आप ये एप्लीकेशन पे क्लिक करेंगे, राइट, सो द एप्लीकेशन विल ओपन अप और आपको ऐसे बुक्स डांस करते हुए दिखेंगे. राइट. सो यहाँ पे देयर इज दिस थिंग कॉल्ड ऑक्टो वर्ल्ड. ठीक है. सो स्टे ट्यून्ड, इसका नाम भी बहुत जल्दी चेंज होने वाला है. जब आप ऑक्टो वर्ल्ड पे जाएंगे सो यहाँ पे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लेक्चर्स आपको रन होते हुए दिखेंगे. अभी वी हैव रुचि मैम का लेक्चर. राइट. So Ruchi ma'am का lecture is there today and Ruchi ma'am will be teaching you science fundas. जो lecture आप यहाँ attend कर रहे हैं वही same lecture आपको यहाँ Octopod पे भी देखने को मिलेगा. आपके जो भी doubts हैं, जो भी questions हैं वो आप यहाँ पे पूछ सकते हैं. And जब आप यहाँ पे वो doubts और questions पूछेंगे we will make sure that आपको उस चीज का reply मिले, है ना, आपके सारे doubts clear. At the same time यहाँ पे बहुत सारे vouchers और coupons भी हैं. अभी किसको पिज्जा खाना नहीं अच्छा लगता? मुझे तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. सबको अच्छा लगता है ना. सो पिज्जा का डिस्काउंट कूपन लीजिए और जल्दी से जाके पिज्जा खा के आइए. राइट. सो अगर आपके पास रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स हैं तो आप इन रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट से डिस्काउंट कूपन अवेल कर सकते हैं और उस डिस्काउंट कूपन को आप जाके पिज्जा शॉप पे यूटिलाइज करके सस्ते में पिज्जा ला सकते हैं. और फिर मम्मा पापा डांटेंगे भी नहीं कि इतना महंगा पिज्जा खाया, है ना. एट द सेम टाइम यहाँ पे वी हैव ऑब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट. सो ये जो ऑब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट हैं ये सब आपके खुद के स्कूल के टीचर्स और फैकल्टीज ने ही बनाए हैं. आप इन्हें भी रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स के थ्रू अवेल कर सकते हैं. ये रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स जो हैं वो बर्न कैसे करने हैं आपको प्लेटफॉर्म पे बताया जाएगा, तो अभी वो मैं नहीं बताऊँ. ओके. देन वी हैव दी स्पेशलाइज्ड कोर्सेज जो भी आप रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स के थ्रू अर्न कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद वी हैव सो मेनी कैटेगरीज और हर कैटेगरी के अंदर आपको इतनी सारी वीडियोस मिलेंगी ना जो फोकस्ड हैं सिर्फ आपके डेवलपमेंट के लिए. सो आप यहाँ पे कोई भी कैटेगरी में जाइए जिसमें भी आपको इंटरेस्ट है उसे ओपन करिए और उसके अंदर जितनी सारी वीडियोस हैं वो सारी वीडियोस यूटिलाइज करें. ओके. सो मेक श्योर कि आप यहाँ आए बिकॉज ये जितना कंटेंट है ऑल ऑफ इज दिस फॉर फ्री. सो आपको यहाँ पे कुछ चार्ज नहीं करना है, आपको सिर्फ डाउनलोड करना है और सीखना है और ज्यादा मार्क्स लेके आने है ना. क्योंकि अगर ज्यादा मार्क्स नहीं लेके आए तो फिर मम्मा पापा से तो डांट पड़ेगा ना. तो ज्यादा मार्क्स तो लाने पड़ेंगे, नहीं तो डांट तो खाना है. नहीं खाना ना डांट. then you'll have to download the application. ये जो मैम हमारे इतने अमेजिंग लेक्चर्स अटेंड कर रहे हैं और सिखा रहे हैं आपको, सब आके आपको अटेंड करना पड़ेगा, और उसके साथ साथ वो जो भी असाइनमेंट्स देंगे, जो भी नोट्स देंगे, वो सब आपको ऑक्टोपॉड वाले एप्लीकेशन पे मिलेगा। सो आपको जाके ऑक्टोपॉड स्टूडेंटिंक डाउनलोड करना है और मैम के लेक्चर्स को वापस ध्यान से सुनना है, असाइनमेंट सॉल्व करने हैं, एंड देन गारंटीड आपके मार्क्स तो अच्छे आने वाले। ओके, सो टुडे वी हैव विद अस रुचि मैम. So Ruchi ma'am has been teaching various subjects, specifically science, for a very long duration. तो मैम को 5 साल 5+ years का एक्सपीरियंस है एजुकेशनल इंडस्ट्री में। वो बहुत सारे बच्चों को पढ़ा चुकी हैं साइंस। आप जैसे सारे नॉटी बच्चों के डाउट्स, क्वेरीज क्या रहते हैं, उन सब के बारे में उन्हें इन डेप्थ नॉलेज है। तो आज रुचि मैम हमारे साथ साइंस के कुछ बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग फंडास शेयर करने वाली हैं, ताकि आपको आपके कॉन्सेप्ट्स बहुत अच्छे से क्लियर हो जाए, और आपको जो भी डाउट्स हैं वो आप कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हैं। अब मैं रुचि मैम का बिल्कुल ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लेने वाली, सो आई जस्ट हैंड ओवर द मीटिंग टू मैम। ओवर टू यू।
Yeah, sure. Hello students, myself Ruchita and I'm going to teach you science today. First of all, good evening to all of you, and I hope you all will like this session very much. So please, as ma'am mentioned, like, share and subscribe, don't miss it. Now just we are going to start the topic without wasting time. I'm going to share my screen which I had made the presentation, and we will start learning about light from the very basic, right? So don't worry if you don't have any idea about light. We are going to start it from the basic. So I'm going to share the screen about light, and then we are going to start to learn about light. Okay, so you all can see on my screen. Today we are going to learn something about light. First of all, the light, as we heard the word, the first thing come in our mind is the sun, right? Which we call the natural source of light. And this is the only natural source from which we get the light. But on the other side, if we talk about the artificial sources, then there are so many night lamps, lights, and so many sources of light available at our home. And through this, we can see the things, right? So in this today's session, we will learn something about what is light. Then we also see the classification of objects depending upon the source of light. Then we will see that how the light gets traveled, and or if we can say the sun is the source of light, then which is located very, very far away from us, right? So how does it came or reach to us? And last, we will see the laws of reflection. So let's start with the first question, that is, what is light? So everybody know that light is a kind of energy, right? And due to this light only, we are able to see the things which are present in our surroundings. Can you imagine yourself entering in the dark room where there is no light? Can you be able to see the things which are present in room? I think no, because I feel when I enter in the room where is no light, I will definitely sure that I am unable to see the things. Why? The simple answer is that there is no light, and it may happen that I get stuck to the wall even, right? Because there is no light, we are unable to see the things. Same as we cannot see the things in the dark, right? So the light is a kind of energy, and that is the only thing which make us the things visible which are present in our surroundings. Now, second question is classification of objects. So if we talk about, there are two type of objects, right? As I mentioned, the light word, as we heard, the first thing came in our mind is the sun. From where does we get the light? जिसके ऊपर से हमें light मिलती है, right? So what we call the sun has its own light. It doesn't need any energy to produce. It has its own light, right? Same as the light which is present in our room. As we turn on the switch, the lights get on. Light on होती है और हमें सारी चीजें visible हो जाती है, right? So that type of objects which has their own light, they do not need to be get reflected, right? Such substances which has their own light are called the luminous object. Examples of luminous objects are sun, second can be the bulb, right? And many more, which candle itself, right? So the things which are having their own light are called the luminous object. And that is okay. We are able to see the sun because it has own light, right? But what about the other sub objects such as wall, chair, and the table which you are using to sit, even the book in which you are watching right now, or through which we are going to learn the things, right? They do not have their own light. Am I right? Yes, they don't have their own light. So how does they are visible? वो कैसे हमें दिखते हैं? Can anyone think? They do not have any their own light, right? So these subjects are going to reflect some light. If you remember, then you have already had studied that light get reflected when it falls on certain object. जब वो कोई object shiny, specifically like mirror, right? When it get fall on shiny surface, it gets stuck over it. वो उसके साथ टकराती है, and then from that surface it get reflect. वो वहां से टकरा के वापस आती है. This reflected light will catch by our eye and make us this thing visible. So you can see here in this photo, the source of light is sun. This sunlight is going to fall on the tree. From this sunlight, some amount of light get stuck over this surface of tree, and from that it get reflected, right? Or we can say bounce back, right? As you throw, for an example, or for instance, we can see if you are having a ball, right? A tennis ball which you are playing with cricket and all that games, right? If you are going to throw it on the wall, what happens? It get bounce back. वो उसके साथ टकरा के क्या होती है? Return आती है, and then you can catch that ball. फिर आप उस ball को catch करते हो, right? Same thing happens in the case of light as well. Where the sun is the source of light which which has a great amount of light, right? That emits the light which has a very, sorry, I'm going to share the screen again as a, due to some disturbance I was unable to, my screen was I just get out of the screen, so I'm going to share it again. Just a second. Okay. So we are going to continue with this source of light. As I explained that when there is here you can see in this picture, the sun is a very great source of light, right? Which emit a very large amount of light from itself, which get falls on the variety of sub objects which are present on the globe. From each of the object, some amount of light get reflected back, which we call bounce back होती है उसके साथ टकरा के, right? And that reflected light will reach to our eye, and then we are able to see that object, and the object get visual to us. जो हमें दिखता है कि ये कौन सा object है. So if we talk about the properties of light, we can conclude that first, light is a kind of energy. Second, light travels in a straight line only, or we can say straight path only. That we can explain through, I just can explain through your activity. You have the appearance you need for these are a source of light. It can be a candle, bulb, or anything, right? And a hollow pipe you need. Either a plastic or metal pipe आपको ले लेना है, right? Try to see the candle flame through that hollow pipe. you definitely will able to see the light. आपको उसकी flame या जो भी चीज है that will be very very clearly visible to you, right? But what happen if that pipe is slightly bent? उसको बीच में से अगर थोड़ा सा bend कर दिया है, then will you able to see the light? No, right? Because there is a obstacle in the way of light. लाइट के रास्ते में अगर कोई ऑब्स्टेकल आ गया, then the light will unable to pass. उसमें से वो पास नहीं हो पाएगी, right? और we, in the other words, we can say instead of passing through this another way, they get reflected. उसके रास्ते में ऑब्स्टेकल आ गया तो वो सीधा सीधा ट्रैवल नहीं कर पा रही है. That means that get reflected from that way. वो वहां से क्या हो जाएगी, रिफ्लेक्ट करके वापस आ जाएगी, right? So from this what we can say, light can only pass through the straight path. उसके अलावा जैसे टेढ़ा मेढ़ा zigzag way है तो उसमें से वो पास नहीं कर पाएगी. Then the shadow which we are able to see of different object, either it could be of living things or non-living things, right? Even you always try to find your shadows when you are going out in the sunlight, right? Midday तो आप देखते हो shadow की length कितनी है, बड़ी है, छोटी है, वो सारी चीजें, right? That how that shadow are visible to you, that is also the property of light. The light get falls on you and that get reflected, which makes the shadow of your on the surface, जो आपका shadow बनाती है surface के ऊपर. Then the last property of light says us that when light falls on surface, it bounce back in same medium, which we call reflection of लाइट, जिसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, रिफ्लेक्शन बोलते हैं, राइट? कोई भी सरफेस के ऊपर अगर लाइट फॉल या तो हम थ्रो करते हैं, दैट विल गेट रिफ्लेक्टेड बैक, मींस बाउंस होके वापस अपनी साइड ही आती है, और द ऑब्जेक्ट की साइड, ल्यूमिनस ऑब्जेक्ट की साइड पे आती है. दैट इज कॉल्ड द रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट. उसे हम बोलते हैं रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट. Now the next topic, which is the most important and which is the main highlight of our today's lecture, that is laws of reflection. There are two laws of reflection, right, which we are going to study in detail today. I'll explain the first law today and we will second law we will continue in the next session. So first of all, I just want to recall you that what is reflection. I think now everybody has remembered what is reflection, right? Am I right? So again, just once for your repetition, I am going to repeat this reflection once again. When we are going to throw a source of light on any surface, either it could be a smooth surface, rough surface, anything, right? This light get stuck on that surface, वो उसके साथ टकराती है, and from that surface they get reflect back. वो उसके साथ रिफ्लेक्ट टकरा के बाउंस बैक होके रिटर्न आती है, and this phenomenon is known as reflection, जिसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, रिफ्लेक्शन बोलते हैं, right? I am just going to show you one activity through which you can get understand what is reflection, जिसके ऊपर से आपको एक proper idea आएगा कि हम reflection किसे बोलते हैं, ठीक है? So just look at, try to continue looking on my screen. I am going to turn on the video so the things can be clearly visible to you. The appearance which I had taken is the source of light, a plane mirror. Just a second. Okay, here you can see I had take one plane mirror. This is the plane mirror. Okay, shall I now continue?
Just give me a second here.
Yeah, sure. I'm watching.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, hello students. I just am back. I'm sorry for the interruption. Meanwhile, now we are going to continue. We were talking about the reflection of light, right? Here I am going to show you one thing through which you will be able to understand what you call as the mirror. Okay, you can see on my screen that here is the source of light. This is the plane mirror, right? You can see this. I had taken the plane mirror which I have fixed with the stand. And here is my source of light, and I had taken one comb through which I had covered with the paper, so only one ray of light can pass through it, right? I'm going to place it in front of this source of light. So from this, the light which you can see the passing, right? There is the light which passed through this hairs of this teeth of this comb is called the incident ray, right? The light which is coming out from the source of light is called the incident ray. Now, this light is get falls or stuck on this plane mirror, right? That is my smooth surface. So you can see on the another side, the light comes back. That gets heat on the surface and returning to the same medium. वही side पे वो return भी हो रही है. Can you see this? Right? This is called reflected ray. Right? So the two new terms which you learned right now are the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Again, I'm going to repeat. The light which is coming out from the source of light, right? Or we can say luminous object. This is my luminous object from which torch the light is coming out. The rays which are coming out from here is called the incident ray, and this is called the reflected ray. You can see here the light gets stuck on the mirror. यहाँ पे वो टकरा रही है और उसके वापस आ रही है, right? Bounce back हो रही है. This is called the reflected ray. So this is my incident ray and this is my reflected ray. These are the two terms. Remember, huh? I'm again going to repeat this. I'm again going to repeat this. The incident ray and the reflected ray, right? The ray which is coming out through the source of light is called the incident ray, and the ray which gets back after bouncing on the smooth surface is called the reflected ray. You can see the two rays that get reflected from this surface, right? Now, these are the two terms. Now, what we will do to understand the first law of reflection, what we are going to do, we are going to place a plain paper, right, on the surface where our mirror is, right? You can see here. Now, here is my mirror. That is my mirror. And we are going to draw one perpendicular line over here. We will draw a perpendicular line to this mirror. ये mirror से हम एक 90 degree पे एक line draw करेंगे, right? That is called perpendicular line, to which we are calling as normal. जिसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? Normal line, right? Now, my light is going to fall in this surface, right? The source of light is going to come through this, which is my incident ray. This is the incident ray. Now what happens? The light which get incident will stuck on this plane mirror, and from here it gets reflected. So this become my reflected ray, right? So what the things we done about? The perpendicular line to the mirror is called the normal line. The ray which is coming out from the source of light, that is luminous source object, is called the incident ray, and the light which gets stuck on this surface and get back is called the reflected ray. Now we will turn to more terms, which is called the angle of incident, that is denoted by small I, and angle of reflection that we denote with small r, right? So the angle which is formed between the incident ray and the normal. Again, I am going to repeat, the angle which is formed between the incident ray and the normal is called angle of incident. And the angle which is formed between the reflected ray and this normal, which is the perpendicular line, is called angle of reflection. So here today we learn about the five new terms. First is the incident ray, second is normal ray, and that is reflected ray. Now what is our first law of reflection say? That is our today's main topic, right? What we call the first law of reflection. The first law of reflection tells us that in each and every cases, the angle of incident is always equals to the angle of reflection. That is our first law of incident. First law of reflection. So again, I am going to repeat. According to the first law of reflection, the incident angle is always equal to reflected angle. Either it could be of any medium, कोई भी मीडियम हो या कोई भी एंगल हो, whether it is a 0 degree, whether it could be a 60 degree, whether it could be 90 degree or whatever it is, right? But in all the cases, the angle of reflection always remain equals to the angle of incidence. I hope you all like this topic and you are now able to understand what is the first law of reflection, what is the light that we call the source of energy, and some properties of light. Hope you all this enjoy the session. I am going to end the session. We will meet soon.